If you are an electrician moving from the United Kingdom to Alberta, Canada, understanding the Canadian Electrical Code, or SEC, is crucial. This code governs electrical installations and safety standards across Canada, and while it shares some similarities with electrical regulations in the UK, there are significant differences that you must be aware of. One important step is to familiarize yourself with the Canadian Electrical Code. You can access the official code through the Canadian Electrical Code website. It is essential to study the specific sections relevant to the type of electrical work you will be undertaking in Alberta. Canada's electrical safety landscape includes the Electrical Safety Authority, or ESA. This organization is responsible for promoting electrical safety throughout the province. The Canadian Standards Association, or CSA, develops standards for electrical products and installations used in Canada. Compliance with CSA standards is often a requirement for electrical equipment and installations. The Canadian Electrical Code is updated regularly to reflect changes in technology and best practices. It is organized into sections covering various aspects of electrical installations, including wiring methods, grounding, overcurrent protection, and equipment installation. Understanding the structure and content of the CEC is essential for navigating the code effectively. Firstly, wiring methods differ between the UK and Canada. In Canada, non-metallic sheath cable, commonly known as NMD90 or Romex, is widely used in residential wiring, while in the UK, twin and earth cable is more common. Conduit systems are also frequently used in commercial and industrial settings in Canada. Secondly, grounding and bonding requirements differ significantly. The CEC has specific rules for grounding electrical systems to ensure safety and prevent electrical shock. Understanding these requirements is crucial for compliance. Thirdly, overcurrent protection is another area where differences exist. The CEC specifies requirements for circuit breakers, fuses, and other overcurrent protection devices to protect electrical circuits from overload and short circuits. Fourthly, appliance and equipment standards may vary. Electrical appliances and equipment used in Canada must meet CSA standards. Ensure that any equipment you plan to use in Canada is certified to meet these standards. Fifthly, inspection and permitting processes differ. Electrical installations in Canada are typically subject to inspection by local authorities to ensure compliance with the CEC. Familiarize yourself with the permitting and inspection processes in Alberta. Some key differences between the Canadian Electrical Code and the UK electrical regulations are the following. Firstly, voltage and frequency. In Canada, the standard voltage for residential and commercial power is 120 volts/240 volts at 60 Hz, while in the UK it is 230 volts at 50 Hz. You'll need to ensure that any electrical equipment you bring from the UK is compatible with the Canadian voltage and frequency. Secondly, wiring colors. The color codes for electrical wires differ between the UK and Canada. In Canada, the common color codes are black for live, white for neutral, and green or bare for ground. In the UK, the color codes are brown for live, blue for neutral, and green and yellow for ground. Thirdly, Canadian Electrical Code terminology. The CEC uses specific terminology that may be different from what you are familiar with in the UK. Familiarizing yourself with CEC terminology will help you understand the code better. Fourthly, Canadian Electrical Code amendments. The CEC is amended by provincial and local authorities to address specific local conditions and requirements. Be aware of any amendments that apply in Alberta. To ensure that you are up to date with the latest requirements, it is advisable to consult with local electrical inspectors and attend training courses in the Canadian Electrical Code. There are several resources available to help you learn the Canadian Electrical Code and adapt to the electrical practices in Alberta. Consider taking courses or workshops on the CEC offered by colleges, technical schools, and electrical associations. These courses will provide you with a comprehensive understanding of the code and its application. Consult with experienced Canadian electricians and electrical contractors. They can provide valuable insights into local practices and help you navigate the CEC. Utilize online resources such as the websites of the Canadian Electrical Code, the Electrical Safety Authority, and the Canadian Standards Association. These websites offer valuable information, including code updates, safety bulletins, and product standards. Here are some specific areas of the Canadian Electrical Code that may be particularly relevant to UK electricians. Section 4 covers conductors. This section specifies requirements for the size, type, and installation of electrical conductors. Pay close attention to the ampacity ratings of conductors and their requirements for conductor protection. Section 12 deals with wiring methods. This section covers the different types of wiring methods permitted in Canada, including NMD90 cable, conduit, and armoured cable. Understand the requirements for each wiring method and choose the appropriate method for the application. Section 26 pertains to installation of electrical equipment. This section covers the installation of various types of electrical equipment, including lighting fixtures, receptacles, switches, and appliances. Ensure that you follow the manufacturer's instructions and the requirements of the CEC when installing electrical equipment. Section 54 covers bonding and grounding. This section specifies requirements for bonding and grounding electrical systems to ensure safety. Understand the differences between bonding and grounding and the requirements for each. Section 78 deals with hazardous locations. If you will be working in hazardous locations, such as areas with flammable gases or dust, you need to be familiar with the requirements of Section 18. This section specifies the types of equipment and wiring methods that are permitted in hazardous locations. Furthermore, you should familiarize yourself with the Alberta Electrical Utility Code. In addition to the CEC, Alberta has its own Electrical Utility Code, which contains additional requirements specific to the province. Consult with the Alberta government or the local electrical utility for more information. Continuing education is key to staying up to date with the latest requirements and best practices. The electrical industry is constantly evolving, so it's important to stay informed about new technologies, regulations, and safety standards. Consider joining an electrical association, such as the Electrical Contractors Association of Alberta, to network with other electricians and access training and resources. By taking the time to learn the Canadian Electrical Code and adapt to the electrical practices in Alberta, you can ensure that your electrical work is safe, compliant, and of the highest quality. This will help you succeed as an electrician in Canada. Remember to always prioritize safety and consult with qualified professionals if you have any questions or concerns. Understanding the Canadian Electrical Code is an ongoing process, and it's important to continuously learn and improve your knowledge and skills. By doing so, you can become a valuable asset to the electrical industry in Canada and provide safe and reliable electrical services to your clients. It's crucial to understand the Canadian Electrical Code, which differs significantly from UK standards. Here's a breakdown of key aspects. Firstly, general differences in standards. The Canadian Electrical Code is designed to ensure electrical safety and standardization across Canada, but it has notable differences from the UK IT wiring regulations, also known as BS 7671. Secondly, voltage and frequency. Canada operates on 120 volts and 60 Hz for standard residential power, while the UK uses 230 volts and 50 Hz. This fundamental difference affects appliance compatibility and transformer requirements. Thirdly, wiring methods and materials. In Canada, non-metallic sheath cable NMD90, commonly known as Romex, is prevalent in residential wiring. In contrast, the UK typically uses twin and earth cable. Additionally, conduit systems are more common in commercial and industrial settings in Canada. Fourthly, color coding. Wire color coding differs significantly. In Canada, black is typically used for live wires, white for neutral, and green or bare for ground. In the UK, brown is used for live, blue for neutral, and green/yellow for ground. Fifthly, grounding and bonding. Grounding and bonding requirements are crucial for electrical safety. The CEC has specific rules to ensure effective grounding, which may differ in approach and implementation from UK standards. Key sections of the Canadian Electrical Code that are most relevant are, firstly, Section 4 Conductors. This section covers the selection and installation of conductors. It details ampacity, insulation types, and installation methods. Understanding conductor sizing and derating factors is crucial. Secondly, Section 12 Wiring Methods. This section outlines acceptable wiring methods, including cable types, conduit installations, and wiring in ducts. Familiarize yourself with the rules for each method to ensure compliance. Thirdly, Section 26 Installation of Electrical Equipment. This section addresses the proper installation of electrical equipment such as lighting fixtures, receptacles, and appliances. Compliance with manufacturer instructions and CEC guidelines is essential. Fourthly, Section 54 Grounding and Bonding. This section is vital for understanding the requirements for grounding and bonding electrical systems. Proper grounding ensures safety by providing a low impedance path for fault currents. Fifthly, Section 78 Hazardous Locations. If you plan to work in environments with flammable gases or dust, this section is critical. It specifies requirements for equipment and wiring methods in hazardous locations to prevent explosions and fires. Additional resources for understanding the code are, firstly, Canadian Electrical Code Handbook. This handbook provides detailed explanations and examples to help you understand the CEC. It is an invaluable resource for both new and experienced electricians. Secondly, Electrical Safety Authority ESA. The ESA is responsible for electrical safety in Ontario, but their website offers resources applicable across Canada. It includes safety bulletins, code updates, and training materials. Thirdly, Canadian Standards Association CSA. The CSA develops standards for electrical products and installations. Ensure that any equipment you use is CSA approved and meets Canadian standards. Fourthly, local electrical inspectors. Local electrical inspectors can provide guidance and clarification on CEC requirements. Building a relationship with local inspectors can help ensure compliance and avoid costly mistakes. Steps to adapt to Canadian electrical practices are, firstly, formal training and certification. Enroll in courses specifically designed to cover the Canadian Electrical Code. Obtain the necessary certifications to work as an electrician in Alberta. Secondly, practical experience and mentorship. Work alongside experienced Canadian electricians to gain practical knowledge. Seek mentorship to learn the nuances of local practices and code interpretations. Thirdly, continuous learning and updates. The electrical industry is constantly evolving. Stay updated with the latest code changes, new technologies, and best practices through ongoing education. Tips for compliance and safety are, firstly, always consult the latest version of the CEC. Electrical codes are updated regularly. Ensure you are using the most current version to avoid non-compliance. Secondly, adhere to manufacturer instructions. Always follow the manufacturer's instructions for installing electrical equipment. Incorrect installation can lead to safety hazards and code violations. Thirdly, use approved equipment and materials. Only use equipment and materials that are CSA approved and suitable for the intended application. Fourthly, conduct thorough inspections. Perform thorough inspections of your work to identify and correct any potential issues. Regular inspections ensure safety and compliance. Understanding the Canadian Electrical Code is essential for electricians moving to Alberta. By familiarizing yourself with the key sections, utilizing available resources, and following best practices, you can ensure compliance, safety, and success in your electrical work.